Welcome to our channel. If you are looking to win at sports betting, you have come to the right place. Your journey to profitable sports betting starts with us. Our team created a custom analytics system for betting NFL player props and daily fantasy sports. The system comprises of analytics from each team and includes the head coaches, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, the players, and even the referees calling the game. We will talk about all these aspects as we recap each game from the NFL wildcard weekend. The system analyzes data based on player performance, then reverse engineers that data to determine patterns and trends to provide insight into possible future game outcomes and player performances. These insights can be used as leverage for predicting player props or setting daily fantasy lineups. The NFL divisional round is this coming weekend, so let's get started. The first game was Chargers at the Ravens. Nico Collins hits the prop bet for the first touchdown scored of the game. He finishes with 7 receptions, 122 yards and 1 touchdown. This was the first game of the playoffs for the 105th NFL season. The system identified Collins' analytics to be 105. It made sense for him to get the first touchdown of the 105th playoffs and have a great game in the process. He had the second best performance this weekend by a wide receiver. The next top performer was Joe Mixon, had 106 yards and 1 touchdown. His analytics is also 105. The system identified 2 players with analytics of 105, and they both had great games as the Texans secured a decisive victory to kick off the 105th NFL playoffs. However, the best performer of this game was on the losing team in Ladd McConkey. McConkey receives beast mode honors for wide receivers with 9 receptions, 197 yards and 1 touchdown. He was the top performing wide receiver this weekend. The system identified McConkey with analytics of 61. This gave him a perfect match with Justin Herbert. Herbert also has analytics of 61, putting the two of them on the same page all game long. The next game was Steelers at the Ravens. Derrick Henry had a monster game with 186 yards and 2 touchdowns, running over Steeler defenders. By far the best performance by a running back this weekend. He receives the beast mode honor for running backs. Henry's analytics was 359, which is the 72nd prime number. Ravens offensive coordinator is Todd Monken. Monken's analytics is 72, making sure Henry received plenty of carries in this game with 26 rush attempts. George Pickens had a nice game with 5 receptions, 87 yards and 1 touchdown. Pickens wears number 14. Russell Wilson's analytics for this game was 43, which is the 14th prime number. 43 to number 14. The system identified this combination as a high probability to link up for an anytime touchdown. Rashad Bateman was also identified as a high probability anytime touchdown. His analytics was 43, which also connected to offensive coordinator Todd Monken. The next game was Broncos at the Bills. James Cook had 120 yards and 1 touchdown. His analytics was 109, which is the 29th prime number. James Cook also has 29 analytics. The system identified the matching synchronicity and prime number factorization. Curtis Samuel had a very unexpected 68 yards and 1 touchdown. When we ran his analytics and reverse engineered his data, the system discovered a correlation to the Denver Broncos head coach Sean Payton. We added an update to the algorithm to account for these data points in future analysis to include analytics for head coaches. Tony Franklin had 54 yards and 1 TD. His analytics for this game was 25. He was the only touchdown scorer for the Denver Broncos. His analytics was matched by the system to the Buffalo Bills defensive coordinator Bobby Babbage. The next game was Packers at the Eagles. The Eagles defense puts up good DFS points with 3 interceptions, 2 sacks and only 10 points allowed. Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio with his analytics of 223 had the defense making plays all over the field on the way to a dominate performance. We added 223 as a number to watch to the algorithm. Saquon Barkley, although he did not score a touchdown this game, he had 119 yards. If you took him at 100 plus rushing yards, that is a cash ticket. He wears number 26 and his analytics for this game was 26. We have seen this correlation to be relevant all season. Josh Jacobs had 81 yards and 1 touchdown. Jacobs' analytics was 30. Packers offensive coordinator Matt LaFleur's analytics is also 30. The system identified this as high probability for an anytime touchdown. Last but not least, there was a Dallas Gedart sighting, and what a sighting it was. Around here where I am from. This is Eagle country. Although his stat line of 4 receptions, 47 yards and 1 touchdown is nothing to write home about. However, he still receives beast mode honors for tight ends this weekend. Solely based on how he scored the touchdown. 3 massive stiff arms on one play to take it to the house. Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni had analytics of 211, which is the 47th prime. Notice the 47 yards by Gedart, and Gedart also has analytics of 47. 3 47s identified by the system brings this outcome full circle. The next game was Commanders at the Buccaneers. The Commanders pull off the upset win in Tampa Bay. Let's start with De'Ami Brown. He had the best game of his career. 5 receptions, 89 yards and 1 touchdown. This is where I take pride in our analytics system. The system identified Brown with almost a 100% guaranteed probability that he would be an anytime touchdown scorer. This probability carried very high returns. His analytics had double 72, a very rare combination identified by the system with only occurring at very small percentage. Mike Evans 7 receptions, 92 yards and 1 touchdown. He had double 144 analytics, also a rare combination. Terry McLaurin 7 receptions, 89 yards and 1 touchdown. He had analytics of 119. Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles has analytics of 119. This gives us another classic player to opposing head coach correlation. The reason the Commanders upset the Buccaneers is because head coach Dan Quinn and defensive coordinator Joe Witt Jr. both have analytics of 60. The referee for this game was Greg Ralstad, who also has analytics of 60. The beauty of the system is that it incorporates referees into the analysis. Referees are the third party on the field, and they have the ability to turn games in a certain direction. The match between the Commanders coaches and the referee generated a system alert for the potential upset. And the system was correct at predicting the upset. Please like, share and subscribe for more analytics to help you predict player performance.